Third time's the charm, guys. My God. How's it going? Thanks again for your patience. So what's hilarious is I got all of this ironed out before this stream. I got all of this sorted out, but now every single bug between OBS and YouTube has just reared its head all at once. Yeah, I can see the message, Anna. Hey, great. Burned. Euro. I'm going to completely annihilate your name pronunciation, by the way, here. Hey, Josip. Mustafa. Hey, Peter. Crush. You guys are the best, seriously. If this was me watching someone's live stream and they messed up this much, I'd be gone. Just hightailed out of here. Alright, so we're going to do an FPS test. I've got my fingers crossed it's going to work this time. I'm getting a 60 FPS readout. Hopefully no drop frames. Yeah, Renee, I actually checked NVIDIA's settings. Everything is dialed in perfectly. It's just, there's like a 50-50 chance it just won't work right. There's some strange bugs in between the software that I can't quite account for. That's the thing that was messing me up here. Literally everything that I did, it's worked before. For some reason, OBS does not want to interface with YouTube properly. Didn't want to read its own stream key. Didn't want to re-enable the stream last time. Complete pain. So again, thank you guys for your patience. How's the revving? Is it high FPS? Is it nice and fluid? Anna, my favorite vehicle in every sim is the Ferrari 488. I'm guessing you're a newer member to the channel, and pretty much everybody else already knows that. It's the only car I drive. I get chastised for it all the time. Fantastic. All right, so gonna protect our virginity first, and then we're gonna get going on our nice virginal outlap. Now that Renee's here to judge me. The 720S is amazing. That was my favorite car in rFactor 2 until the release of the 488 GTE. I think the 488 GTE just has the perfect balance of performance for me. I love it so much. It's more torquey, a little more fun to drive than the GT3 variant, and because you have no ABS, you can't be lead-footed with your left foot, I guess. Well, Connor, there was a few more people before I messed up my stream several times over. Andreas, good to see ya. Chrissy. Oh, dude, the day Ola shows up in my stream, that'll be something. I gotta troll him in one of his, though. Hey, Dazza. It's totally fine, Anna. We're all new to all things at some point in time. I mean, I am called the least knowledgeable sim racing channel for a reason. Doesn't matter how long I do this, there are always vast gaps in my knowledge that the fine folks always fill in for me. Yeah, it's a great time to pick up a sim. Is the alert widget coming up for you guys? Are you seeing when people become legends up there? Will I be able to read chat while driving? Yes, if you want me to crash. So I tried this out with my friends earlier, and the chat box was about half the size, so there was like, it's the Nürburgring, man. You get like 2 straights maybe where you can read messages, right? So I may go ominously quiet for a little while here, so I apologize for that in advance. You guys can talk amongst yourselves during those times, or criticize my bad driving. That's a good one. Just bear in mind, I've got a full fuel load in this car. It's race lean for endurance layout. It's not going to be the quickest hot lap you've ever seen in your life. The key tonight is consistency. Just kind of keep it on the road. Don't ruin my team's race if I can help it. So regarding the 24-hour race, if Renee is still here, he can probably fill you in a little bit better. I'm gonna have to pick the right song then, Renee. You freaked me out, Anna. I thought like my chat was buffering. That freaked me out, man. Yes, I did see that they updated the Porsches in AMS2. Actually, I was thinking after this, assuming the stream goes well, which it kind of hasn't to this point, other than your amazing patience, guys. I was thinking about trying out the AMS update, see how the Porsches are handling. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. And yes, I am all as mixer, as of late anyway. I've mixed these last 2 singles. And, well, his whole last album as well, so that was pretty fun. Alright, I'm just going to crank up my volume with my remote here and we'll get going. I don't want you guys hanging around for no reason. 82 views, you guys are seriously the best. I was expecting to have like 3 people watching me do this. Imagine when it's actually fun and there are other cars on the track, right? It's going to be great. But I promised to myself I'm actually going to bring the monitor closer to me come the race because it's like I need telescopic vision to see the apexes from here. Don't stall. Don't stall. Show them you've been playing rFactor for longer than like 2 months. Alright. So the big thing for me is actually working out where the brake marker is for the pits. Pitting is something obviously when you play in single player you don't really do very often. So again, I apologize if I can't stay up with the chat here. I might try now that it's the outlap, it's not really going to be timed or anything. Hey Ricardo. Thank you very much, that's very kind of you. Cold tires, full fuel load, take it easy. Okay, so I was just driving the AMS2 Porsche on this exact same track, and look, I mean, don't hate me, but rFactor is way more dialed in. This is so much more fun, it's not even funny. Well, I mean, it is funny, but, you know, not in a ha-ha kind of way. Already getting the wrong racing lines, I love it. Starting off on a strong foot. So I've got to say, one thing I've got to learn this skill. Guys like Jardier, they just have a conversation with people while being aliens. Like, what is that? How do you even do that? Hey, Kevin. Thanks for tuning in, man. And yes, I've definitely tried ACC, if that was a question to me. See, I'm allowing myself one really bad lap just to talk with you guys as the tires warm up. Yeah, AMS it's in a weird spot right now, to be honest. It's, you know, you get both camps. You get a lot of people, Reza is very near and dear to their heart, which it should be. I mean, they're a great company, great bunch of guys. AMS 1 is obviously one of the sleeper hits of SimRacing. But AMS 2, they're working against so many of those madness engineisms that there's so much work ahead of them to get rid of that whole Simcade vibe. Because you drive the Porsche on the circuit, or rather just the GP variant of the circuit, and it just feels weird. There are so many like weird dynamic effects, but I don't think they're necessarily realistic ones. Yeah, actually, by the way, don't judge my gearing on this. I'm just like in 2 minds right now, hoping the stream goes well. But yes, the sounds on this car are great. I love the sequential transmission. I love those straight cut gears. Reminds me of the hours and hours of like Sean Edwards onboards I used to watch over the years. RIP, man, you're one of the best. So you'd laugh at all the things I had to do in order to get this going over the course of the last day. Had to kind of scrounge together an old Dell monitor I had from 10 years ago to act as a second screen just to have a chat readout. Like, streaming is in such a weird place, and because I'm someone that's never watched Twitch, believe it or not, this is a whole new world to me. So not only learning how people do this, but how to actually do it myself over the course of just 2 days, my God. The hardest thing was probably actually getting the DSLR to act as a camera or a webcam. Not that you can tell, since the stream quality would be so poor on YouTube right now. That's something I just couldn't really work around, unfortunately. You can see that chat developing off to the side, and I feel so bad. There's just no way I could read all that while wrangling the mighty Nordschleife. So just wait for the back straight. Or maybe the high speed section here in Sector 2. I wonder if we'll ever get the 2019 version of the Nordschleife on this, where they repaved that bump out of the road on the left there. Setup is so good. Props to the team. I don't know if that's public knowledge. Again, I don't know if I'm allowed to announce anything, but real good setup by the team. This car just drives itself, basically. So when I inevitably wipe out and ruin their 24-hour race, you can just blame me. This is the 911 GT3R. So for those who just joined us, 140 of you, amazing. You guys are seriously the best. Again, I'm so sorry I can't engage with you one-on-one. Driving the Nordschleife is already beyond my skill set, even though I've been doing it for like half a decade. Much less holding a conversation. This is pretty fun. I can see myself doing a lot more of this over time. I did mention just earlier that this is practice for an endurance race, so I'm not trying to set any hot laps, just trying to keep the car on the road. Going to be doing this here for just over an hour. I think that'll be one stint. I might try and do 2 whole stints. I'm sure you guys will get bored long before that. That curb though, that curb. Who let that through? Like, who let that happen? Gotta remember, this car has its own idiosyncrasies when driving. I'm not much of a Porsche guy, so it's like you have to let it rotate itself off power. You coast a bit more than usual, and then you really get on the power late. Like, you've got to wait for the car to settle and face down. Otherwise, the wealth of understeer that you get on power, oh my god. So in anticipation of doing this down the track, I actually set up all the standard donation links and all that fun stuff. So that's down there somewhere. I'm not saying anyone should use them, but if you guys could check them out and just let me know whether the links work, whether it affords people the option of actually using them should they want to, that'd be great. I haven't had a chance to test run any of this yet. Just wait for the GIF I have lined up when someone does send one through though. It's a good one. I'm quite proud of it. Really started getting into that whole streamer life thing last night and customizing the stream a little bit more. Beginners series on RF2, actually Studio 397 broached that topic with me already. It's very possible. I think Marcel was potentially interested in that, or maybe it was Renee that asked me, I can't remember. I'm sorry guys. G'day Mantis. So it shouldn't be dropping frames. If more of you guys are getting that, please do let me know. But it's saying that my stream is fairly healthy on this end. It could just be an internet connection at that point. Internet connection thing, rather. Alright, where's the brake point when you come down the straight here? Not quite right. Not quite right at all. It's a funny one, being in like 3 different minds, hoping that the stream quality is good while doing your thing, and I can see why this is compelling enough for people to do it for a living. Not that I plan to do that at any point soon. The audio career is just too good. So I'm curious, where's everyone tuning in from? Which corners of the globe? I'm guessing that I've mostly hit morning time over in the EU, but I'm curious if anyone like from South America is watching or anything like that. Maybe some Aussies, Kiwis. Melbourne, Aussies, Malaysia, all right, all over the world, I get it. Hey, Italy. I'd be there now if it weren't for the lockdown. It's my annual trip. It's like Nürburgring followed by Northern Italy. Maybe stop by Mugello, Imola, maybe just, you know, look at them because I don't think they do open days on those. It's one of the fascinating things about the Nordschleife. It's one of the few places in the world that's crazy enough to be an open road every other day. Wish I had more of a chance to check the stream. The Nordschleife is so demanding. Alright, maybe here. Alright. Cadwell Park, nice. Good to see you, Bug. Hey, Lewis. Maybe not flat there in the race. I don't think it quite pans out as well as it normally does in the sprint races. This is the 911 GC3R, I think they call it, so it's not the Cup car. If all the Cup car had crashed already, I can't drive that thing worth a damn. But can anyone, really? Actually, speaking of which, is the Cup car in this race? Is that the other category? Am I going to be stuck trying to lap dudes in Cup cars? I love the sound of those straight car gears. Unbelievable. I can't believe there's 152 viewers on the first stream. You guys are absolutely amazing. I was expecting to be doing this to like 4 people, tops. I promise come the actual race it'll be a bit more exciting because you'll have Renee and his team screaming at me. Then you guys will be screaming at me. And I'll be freaking out. It's going to be awesome. Great fun. But I'll have a nice overlay. So you got that to look forward to. One thing that's really cool is like while you're trying to talk and do this, it really commits to your muscle memory what gears you should be in. I can feel myself feeling around for gears that I wouldn't normally use in these sections, which is just as well. This car's geared very differently to the 488 and the 720, which are the ones that I normally drive. So I think that would probably be done in third if you do it correctly. Hey, SimRacing Tube. I look forward to seeing everyone that's going to be in that race. 24 hours of Nürburgring. Like, what a great way to start a competitive SimRacing career, if you will. My favorite track, my favorite motorsport event in the world. Thanks so much, Renee. Making my dreams come true, man, one at a time. Now just get me that upcoming track, whatever it is, so I can waste my time driving that and not practice. So I promise, guys, when this is done, I'm going to move on to the TV. I'm going to watch it again. And I'm going to read all your comments. The ones that I can't read while I'm blasting it down the carousel here. So your comments should actually be showing up on the left side of the stream, but they're not. It's one of the other bugs on Streamlabs right now. I've got to sort through it. Actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to cheat. All right, chat box should be go. Come on, Streamlabs, impress me. There we go. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. See? It was all bugs. That's why the streams didn't work. It's not my own lack of knowledge. All right, I think we've caught up. Good. And yes, I would love to do subscriber races at some point. It's just I have so much going on. It was difficult just to squeeze this in. So, you know, in the future, sky's the limit, man. The more and more I make this a quote-unquote career, the more I can justify doing with it. So 100%, I would love to. I'd love to. You guys are the best. All right, I'm going to see if I can hit the pause button here and just not bin the car. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, man. My frame rate just died. Don't do it. There we go. That's all right. I only lost like 3 seconds. All right, focus on the race. Focus on the race. I mean, not the race, the practice. All right, that little pause really zoned me out there. I've got to really snap back into it. One thing that's so good is just feeling this amazing force feedback the whole way through. It makes the most banal solo practice session just really exciting. Especially since I killed all the damping on the DD1. I just used the software damping from the game itself. Way more flicky, way more responsive. Yeah, I can go through the DD1 settings if I just remember what I've set it to. I think it's quite simple at the moment. I pretty much have everything disabled on the base itself, other than interpolation, which is set to 1 to just stop that granularity noise coming through on the straights. I'm sure you guys will know what I mean if you own one and you've tried to zero everything. And I use smoothing to make up the difference in the game, because that way you get way less latency between the force feedback jolts and your hand, which means you can catch a lot more moments. Look, I think most people consider ACC the current go-to consumer sim for GT3 cars. I mean, they've done a tremendous job simulating the systems, getting the data from the manufacturers, rather, which is one area where I think rFactor have struggled a little bit, is just integrating all the systems that constitute a GT3 car and conveying the sensation of how these cars will be driven in contrast to other cars. Whereas I think as a whole, rFactor is probably the best all-round motorsport simulator on the consumer market. But again, take that with a grain of salt. That's just my opinion. Yours may differ. I know a lot of you... Wow. All right. So every lap it changes a little bit, and I've got to talk less in order to do this better. But I know a lot of you guys love the original AC. I think despite the fact that it is a more basic physics model in that sim, it does those basics very, very well, and I think that's what led to its longevity. The fact that it's so moddable, that so many people were just all about it, you know? But I think we can all agree that the best sim ever made was Hot Rod. 1987 or whatever it was. Looking through the classifieds for car parts. What a time to be alive. That's something that rFactor was meant to have. I remember following its development really closely, because rFactor was being made just before I got into more full-on sim racing. And to me, back then, rFactor is what represented a full sim. As funny as that might sound. So, AC's force feedback is a weird story. I had no end of troubles with it myself. Look, what do you say? Basically, I can put it down to this. The more money you spend on your sim rig, the better AC and ACC will feel. So it was only when I spent a couple of thousand on the sim rig that I started getting something meaningful from AC and ACC. It's because they're so big on the subtlety of the forces. They're not kind of beating you over the head with the detail like rFactor is, with this insane autistic time model, right? They don't have that insane autistic time model, so they have to be very conservative about what they feed you. And getting a Formula V2 rim like this with vibration motors in the handles, telemetry output on the screen in front of me, I can see when my lockups happen. I can see when I'm kicking in the TC. I don't really need to feel it anymore because I'm getting that information from somewhere else. So it's a bad sentiment to share, but basically if you want AC and ACC to feel better, you got to spend some more money, unfortunately. And yeah, I think AC is really being kept alive by some of the third-party content like Soul, Custom Shaders, Content Manager. I mean, I recently went back as part of that video that some of you might have seen. First time in about 2 years that I played it, drove it, and it's so much better now with this setup. It has that wide spread of content, but I've got to say the GT3s in that game feel like a joke compared to ACC and rFactor. The fact that AC was actually compared with rFactor at some point for GT cars is kind of hilarious, because it's not even the same wavelength. ACC is a different story, however. ACC is a far better game, a far better sim rather, than AC. Yeah, I wish you guys could get AC mods on the Xbox as well. I think it would add a lot to the longevity of the title. It's strange that Kunos haven't expressed much interest in revisiting that one, you know? So many people are still all about it. They must still be making boatloads of cash from it, so it's very strange to think that they wouldn't want to go back and support it in some way. $170 viewers. Alright, you guys are the freaking best. Imagine if this many of you legends are watching me do something as boring as a solo practice. That 24-hour race is going to be amazing. I'm never going to feel lonely. Down here in Sector 2 in the middle of the night. I'm one of those people that's just watched way too many onboards from the N24 race over the years, so every hour kind of holds its own experience, its own significance. Every engine note has its own significance. Just watching them cruise through here in the dead of night is, oh man, I can only hope to do that once, or twice, or 3 times in real life. Only if the real cars have feedback that's as good as rFactor though. Man, I picked the right day to do this. It's really kicking into summer here in Australia. And I'm already feeling it. I'm only like halfway through my stint. While I haven't driven particularly well, I haven't spun the car out, which is half the battle in endurance racing. I want to have that dynamic that Jimmy has with Jardier. I want, you know, the other guy to do all the work, and I can spend all my time just talking with you guys and cruising through my laps. That'd be so good. Have to bear in mind to keep it a gear higher in this car than the ones I normally drive. Also, the fact that lifting off the throttle is imminent death. It's that rear engine effect. That's why I've been doing this for the last couple of days, just trying to come to terms with this car. It drives so differently to anything else. Cool thing is that entire section is basically third gear. Just a quick reminder to get into that whole streamer headspace. I set up all the usual slew of donation links and stuff, so if you guys do check them out for me, do let me know if they work. I'm still wondering what's going on there, if they take you to the right place, if everything looks like it's in order. That would be highly appreciated. I've got some pretty topical GIFs set up for certain events on the channel, so I look forward to those being triggered at some point. Hopefully during the N24 stream. Okay. My favorite real life car, I mean, I haven't had that much experience with an array of cars, but I really enjoyed the McLaren 600 LT. I like my old Subaru WRX, the 22B-esque model from the 90s, though even though it's understeer city. I like old JDM cars a lot. No, there's no wet line in rFactor 2, unfortunately. They don't really model that whole rubber getting slipperier under wet conditions thing. That's one of the things Marcel and I spoke about on the interview a couple of weeks ago. So one thing I have to do is a couple of stints in the rain to get used to the way rFactor renders that whole thing. Yeah, I'm a Subi boy. Again, I know I'm missing a ton of comments from you guys. I promise I am going to rewatch all of this afterward and check them all out. All in second. Bug, what a legend. I'm curious if that's going to come up on the stream. I mean, it should. Gotta say, Streamlabs is disappointing me a bit. A lot of things that should be working just aren't. Hey! Alright then, it's just a little bit laggy. Jimmy B. The guy that helped me set all this up. I don't think the stream would be possible without him, so thanks, dude. It's funny, I was just driving this in the same car in AMS2, and this is so much better. It's so much better. We'll crank up the TC a bit and we'll start losing the tires soon. So, is it dropping frames for anybody else? I'm kind of curious how that whole thing's going. I've got to do a lot more experimentation with streaming just to find the ideal sweet spot. I mean, I thought I did already over the last 2 days, but it just shows you that stuff comes up that you can't really anticipate, unfortunately. Once again, thank you guys for sticking by me. I know some of you came along for 3 separate stream links, so it's hugely appreciated. Renee, I need my curbs, man. Get me my curbs back. I'm not doing 24 hours of this crap with no curbs. I need those curbs, man. If Kevin Estray rides those curbs, I'm riding those damn curbs. I want curbs. To anyone that doesn't know what I'm complaining about, the new version of the Nürburgring was slightly not modeled correctly. Yes, Sermon will be upgrading his system very shortly. So the second one's either going to be a slave system for the streaming or just another rig out in the living room. I've actually thought about so when GT7 comes out, I was thinking about having the PlayStation out there on the 2-meter TV, just get right in there, get immersed, have some fun, stream some of that content, do some career mode, work on some old JDMs, you know, get some 90s cars going. It'll be great, you know. That's what Gran Turismo is all about. All the while listening to Jazz Fusion. I'm not sure if that sounds like a good thing to anybody else. I know I'm very particular, but, you know, sounds good to me. This is actually an official event from P1 Gaming, I think it was, something like that, or P1 SimRacing. You've got to forgive me, I'm not too in the loop with these things. It's an amazing first event. I mean, I couldn't have asked for something better to cut my teeth on when it comes to endurance racing. This is my favorite track on the planet. It's my favorite event on the planet, so I was actually meant to be there for it this year. But unfortunately, our trip plans got cut short, and here we are, doing it all virtually. But I think all's well that ends well. I mean, I wouldn't be in touch with any of you guys had it not happened the way that it did. Welcome to the channel, E-hole. Yeah, so I definitely can increase the streaming bitrate in Streamlabs. The problem is that YouTube recommends only streaming in 6000 kbps for 720p, and that's exactly what I'm doing. It's sending out about 6300 at the moment. So I don't really know what to say. I mean, I've just got to run more trials. I've got to see what's going on. I think having the new system is going to help me a lot. I know the new CPUs are a lot better at this sort of thing, the new GPUs as well. I know my 1080 Ti is getting a bit long in the tooth now, but it's able to pull it together. Thanks, Lewis. I'm keen to actually finally do an endurance race, you know. It's just crazy to think to be doing this for a whole day straight. Even crazy to think that people do it for real for a whole day. But the stakes are so much greater. Luke, legend. The drift lap is going to be the last lap. When I empty out all the fuel load and I have no tires left. That's when you're going to see some sideways action, whether I want it to be or not. It's usually how these things work. Thanks for the $5, mate. Really appreciate it. Yeah, look, the 1080 is fine. I don't really... When it comes to not streaming and just gaming in most sims, 1080 is awesome. I can't really complain. Welcome, Zane. I gotta develop the skill set of like flicking my head over while not losing my lap. That's gonna be hard to develop. I think, so I'm gonna start streaming most of my practice sessions so I can actually develop that skill set. I think that's arguably more important than me being able to drive the track itself. Once again, you guys are the best for just watching me drive around a track by myself. Though it is the most awesome track on the planet, right? I'm already sweating like crazy. Thank you, Australia. And streaming break in 3, 2, all right. What's going on? Yeah, we're one of the teams only fielding a single Porsche. I think they have a couple of other cars and both the BMWs, so. I'll see what's going on with all the frame drops and stuff. I'm not really sure. Again, very little experience in doing this whole thing. But I mean, this is what we're here for. It's a test stream ahead of the main event, so hopefully that goes down without a hitch. The race is this Saturday, November 7th, I believe it is. You know, it's a really good question what time in Australia the race will be. I'll probably need to know that to actually be a part of it, so... Renee? So that is probably my worst corner on the entire track because I've not really done the 24-hour layout as much as I should have. I'm kind of a Nordschleife monkey. But that thing is weird. It's like there's a bizarre dip right as you hit peak torque, causing the car to spin out. So I find short shifting usually works best. Maybe I need to stay in second, who knows. I use Motec for ACC setups, yes. For this particular setup, I had no hand in it. It's the teams. They did an amazing job. This car drives itself. I mean, I'd have spun out like several times over had it been one of my own. It's actually driving better now that I've got it in the... Fuel load is about half empty. But soon it's about to start getting a heck of a lot worse once the tires wear out. But this is the sweet spot right here for me. So my virginity protection comes as courtesy of OMP. I think the team is actually sponsored by OMP. I wish I knew this before I paid full price for this. Nope, that didn't happen. That's fine. It's just an aggressive line. Yeah, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. But I love these gloves. So they were a rough fit at first. Before they broke in, I'm like, I felt so clumsy holding these grips. I just couldn't really get my hands wrapped around it. It would fatigue my hands. But now I can't race without them, and I think it's helped safeguard the Alcantara, as it were. I want my curb. I want my curbs back. Like this. See? That's the N24 line, right there. Hooray! Sponsored by OMP. Now that I know. Now that I've already paid for their karting boots and gloves. They're, honestly, I mean, having gotten into this before any sponsorship, they're really good. I don't know how I ever lived without the karting boots. They're so good. It's one of my future video ideas. I just want to cover that with you guys and show you basically why I think it's a worthwhile investment if you're a sim racer. I can't believe it, but I actually think the boots are more important than the gloves, but there you go. Alcantara. Alcantara, bro. It's Australia, I can call it whatever I want. Alky. Get you some Alky. Probably should have like ramped up time acceleration to get some stint practice in the middle of the night. With these nicely underpowered headlights. That's gonna be super fun. It's like a bunch of spotlights driving around the Nordschleife in the middle of the night. Alright, this is where the car's getting a little more swirly. This is where I'm at risk of spinning, so I've got to really stay on it a bit more. But yeah, grab a drink, relax, kick back. I mean, I'm going to be here for a while. I'm doing a double stint, and if it goes well, I might double back, check my stream settings, and then delve into the AMS2 update with you guys after I get nice and warmed up. Because you guys were saying that they've updated the 911, and you know, by that point we'd have spent about 2 hours in it on this exact same track, so what better time to compare, right? Yeah, you're exactly right, Lewis. The gloves are mostly to protect the Alcantara, not to, you know, protect my hands. My hands are already calloused up from weightlifting, so nothing's going to save those things. But it's protected the grips a lot more. It's gotten a lot more longevity out of it, and there's a certain friction that you get between the two. And there's a certain mental factor. You know, you put the gloves on, you're like, all right, it's time. It's time to roll. It's time to drive poorly while yelling at people, in my case. Oh man, the perspiration is real, guys. Australia's kicking right into its summer, just as this event kicks in. Yeah, so AMS has got the Cup car as well, doesn't it? So I didn't actually drive that in the original video. I didn't even realize it had come out. So they really blindsided us with a lot of free content. And honestly, my props to Reza for that. I know they're trying. I don't know if they'll ever quite get there. I don't know if the Madness engine will let them. But I know that they're trying. It's just, I hope the game stops feeling wacky one day, you know? I hope you can just load it up and it just feels right, like this or ACC. I'm sure they'll do it. They seem like a really cool bunch of guys. Literally every time I move my head to look at the chat, it's just the line is gone. It's like really it's gonna be the most boring stream in history unless people really like watching the Nürburgring. So I'm gonna say if we can keep 200 of you guys engaged like throughout the course of the race, I'm gonna be so thrilled. I promise I won't mention the donations every 5 minutes like some other channels. They're just kind of there for fun. The payoff is in the experience, I think. Don't spin. There we go. You know, you do enough laps, you can almost convince yourself that you're actually there. I miss the G-forces though. How I miss the foxhole. The feeling going down that thing, if you've never done it, is just... The car will be going almost 300, 250, 270, and then you hit the compression and the road just goes up and to the left. Oh my god. So people freak out there and lift, and then that's just game over. There's no lifting. Once you're committed, you're committed. You're going through the foxhole flat. You just... And the feeling is unlike anything else I've experienced. I would imagine it's like a quarter of what a jet fighter might experience when pulling high Gs. Ugh. Don't read the chat for too long, Urban. Thank you, Warcraft Reforged, by the way. I'm going to try and go. I'm going to try and go, but not into the wall, which is one of my ongoing struggles. Alright, so we've got 2 laps left. 40 litres of fuel. That evens us out at about 7 laps in total. I've even managed to lightly flat spot my tyres. How good is that? How do you even do that with ABS? Maybe I can be the new Captain Flat Spot. Now I was thinking surely you guys would have dropped off 1 or 2 laps in, but you're the best. It's a tricky one. This is the kind of, I guess this is the kind of grunt work that most people dread when it comes to sim racing or sim racing prep, but I love it so much. I just love doing laps. I don't care if there's no one here with me. Though having you guys here it's a lot better actually. Makes the experience somewhat less lonely, I guess. You know, I've been told that apparently the GP circuit here is far harder on cars and their tyres than the Nordschleife is. It's pretty interesting when you think about it in those terms, because you're always told that the Nordschleife is like the ultimate test for a road car. And then people say that no, you're pulling way harder lateral loads on the GP circuit. Lots more going on, so I guess the Nordschleife is very much just like a power circuit. It's cambered very well for the vehicle. Whereas the GP circuit is super wide. There's a lot of places we can run off and really push the car to its limits. This place, I'm used to going flat out here with my setups. I'm gonna have to really recondition myself not to do that in the race. I want my curb, Renee. I want my curbs back. Every time I come back to Sector 1, I want my curbs. No. It's because there was dirt. I think I'm going to have to develop a line that doesn't involve those curbs at all. They just unsettle the car way too much. It's kind of strange if you look at most real-life lines in GT cars. That was your fault, Renee. I was reading your comment. I agree, though, by the way. Having been there, that makes sense. $170 of you guys again. Seriously, you are the best. I'm going to promise, the more and more I do this, the more I'm going to lock down the stream. Quality is going to improve as much as I can. I'm going to try and work it out so that when I do schedule a stream like I did this one, that it actually, you know, starts the stream on that same damn link rather than me having to restart the stream 3 times. I really don't know what that was all about. That was entirely a Streamlabs thing, and I don't know how to get around it. I was doing everything textbook correctly, so maybe I just need to speak to some people that have done this before, get some insider tips, and then we'll be okay for the future. But I'll probably run at least 1 or 2 more of these streams before the race this weekend. And possibly 1 or 2 others involving other sims like AMS2. Might even run that tonight. Depends how bad the headache gets after this, you know? Now, one thing I'm gonna need your help with, guys, is what my brake marker is gonna be for the pits. Welcome, Carmock. So yeah, I need to know where to brake for the pits. Now, don't tell me now, because I can't read it. But like, for the next lap is where I'll be pitting. I need to know how to most efficiently slow down without getting the team a drive-through. Speaking of Miatas, did you guys see that the MX-5 Cup is now a part of IMSA? That blew my mind. I'm just like, sign me up, get me tickets to the US. I can work my way up to the C8R. It'll be like an RPG, you know? Start in the Miata, end up in the C8R, and then eventually end up in a DPI. But then realize you were happiest all along in the C8R. It's just the perfect balance of performance. I can't wait until they issue out die-cast versions of that car, by the way. Apparently it's early next year. There's a company bringing it out. I think it's going to be the yellow one. I'm not sure if it's the one that Mr. Garcia was driving. That's been the big wait for me. I've been wanting to grab a new daily driver, and I've had my eyes squarely on the C8, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the situation with that car is going to be, given world events, given availability here in Australia. We have some really bad supercar taxes as well. Disc Infiltrator, we're in rFactor 2, the one and only sim, the king of sims. You know, that'd be one of my thumbnails, surely. It's not the one and only sim, it's a really good sim. You're allowed to like other things though. I've got to say, this whole driving and ranting thing is getting a little bit more comfortable. I feel like I shouldn't have said that. That's probably a jinx. That's a jinx. So it'd be like the last corner on the last lap. I'm gonna go spinny poos. One thing I love about this car is whenever you feel yourself losing the rear end, you just apply the throttle, and it's like instant understeer. Rear engine. And you get into the 720S and it basically drives itself compared to this thing. My respect to the team for actually accepting a bit of a challenge by driving this thing. It should be fun. I'm going to assume that that's their vote of no confidence in me. It's like, hey, this guy's going to ruin our race, so let's just put him in the car that's really not going to do all that well anyway. And we can have some fun with it. So, thanks guys. I want to hand tires in this state to my co-driver. I want to just like show up in the pits and be like, there you go. You take stint number 2. We're not swapping him out. Enjoy. Because it's feeling rather remarkable. It's my pleasure, Evangelist. Thank you for joining us. Mark. I hope so, Limatron, I really hope so. I know that they're making as many as they can, but they've obviously had a lot of issues with the GM strike, followed by COVID. I mean, it's just, oh man, is that gonna like take my stream down? I don't know if that's still a dirty word. I don't know if that like immediately demonetizes you, turns you into Satan. Lucky last lap. All right. I love how slow these times are, by the way. I was getting like low 820s before, which is still quite slow, but I guess for every bit of ranting you can add a couple of seconds. It's the most awkward corner complex on the planet. It's so off camber. There's like a little jump halfway through as well. Don't drive it like a Ferrari. Don't drive it like a Ferrari. Don't drive it like a Ferrari. I've got to keep reminding myself its rear engine has a very different handling character. That's it, coast, it turns itself. Apply the power when you're looking down the corner. And enjoy. Welcome, Suzuki. Okay, cool. It's definitely the last lap because the tires are at that special point. Oh, the sweating. Yes, this is going to be 100% the drift laps. Unfortunately, the Porsches aren't particularly good at that discipline, so it may actually be the spinny death lap as well. Oh my god. Okay, alright. Different mode of thinking. Different mode of driving for the last lap. Welcome, Ricciardo. Daniele Ricciardo, man. What a guy. What a dude. He deserves more than a podium. He deserves to win the World Championship. I mean, obviously he's won GPs before, but it's just a typical Aussie bloke that likes to have fun and somehow found himself on the most prestigious motorsports circuit in the world. Alright, avoid the curbs. My happy curbs aren't here. Avoid the curbs. Avoid the curbs. Curbs avoided. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. It just doesn't feel like the correct line, but yeah. Oh my god. It does these little high-speed drifts when it empties out. So when I'm on the final straight, you guys need to tell me what my brake marker is for the pits. I need to see if I can nail it without getting a drive-through. That sucks that frames drop on the notifications. I don't know what that's about. I'll have to look into it. I mean, it is playing the GIFs, but it's a GIF. It's not exactly like, you know, the most processor-intensive thing on the planet. Mate, this is going to be the official broadcast for the race. Why would you watch anything else? I mean, really. Well, I don't know if it's the hardest track to read chat and drive, but man, it's not easy. I can tell you that. It's cost me about 5 seconds a lap, if not more, so I'll say it's something. See, the thing is, when the actual race is going and you're watching me try and like manage traffic and be lapped because I'll naturally be a back marker, it's probably going to be a bit more exciting without me saying anything, so I'll probably shut up a lot more. But now, since it's just like a solo practice, it's more like a, you know, kick back, enjoy yourself. I'm going to grab a drink after this, prepare for stint number 2. Probably towel myself down, because man, I feel like I've actually done this in real life. Alright, can we do this in 3rd on the last lap? Kinda-ish. I just need to be a better driver. I think that's the solution to that problem. Official broadcasters don't race. What's Renee doing in the race? What's going on? Bicep workout is the DD1 set to 50% on high torque mode. Thank me later. Don't spin. Please don't spin. And driving a, you know, mostly empty fuel load Porsche on the Nordschleife. You're doing so many micro corrections that you can't help but build that amazing bicep strength and forearm integrity. Samoyako. Yeah, man. That's the way. From strength to strength. I sincerely hope very few people from the team are watching the stream right now. It's not exactly showcasing driving at its finest, but more just hey, how badly can I stream if I just try and throw it together on the spot? See, the key is if I can just maintain this level of mediocrity for 24 hours, we'll be in business. Because in endurance races, as you probably noticed, most people lose by just crashing out, you know? If you finish, that's half the battle. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna get like some gummy bears and stuff like that just to keep the strength up. I know Jimmy does stuff like that. I know we have a very different physical constitution he and I, so I probably might need a few more gummy bears. Maybe those huge snakes, you know? Maybe those will do it. Welcome, I think it was Emil. Yes, it was. I'm getting better at this flicking my head and reading stuff while trying not to crash thing. Sorry about the frame drop, guys. I don't know why Sonic causes a frame drop. That makes me very sad. Sure. I mean, I got curb deprivation then. Like, let's just ride a random curb I shouldn't be riding. Felt pretty good, won't lie. We'll do again. Alright, we're coming up to the final straight here. I need you guys to tell me what my brake marker is for the pits. So let me know. Whatever the consensus is, that's where I'm braking, for better or worse. I might come into the pits at like 250, I don't care. It's a GT3, not the Cup car. I'm not throwing shade at Jimmy. Jimmy's the best. Without him, like, this wouldn't be possible. This wouldn't be an industry. Don't break, I'll take it. Alright, cool. Well, at least I'll find out where the drive-through penalty point is. We'll do the pits like we used to in the 90s. No speed limits. Maximum Marlboro ads. Alright, whatever. Whatever, I'm picking it. Oh, man. Hey, I'm right here. That's nice. I'm tired. Guys, 200 viewers, you guys are the best, seriously. Oh, man. Let me just sit here for 2 minutes. It's been a long hour. Just gonna get these gloves off that are stuck to me. Bring with it the hope that one day I may lose my virginity. One day. Well, see, my experience of being in Germany was being lapped by dudes, well, not lapped, but being savagely overtaken by guys in VW Golfs on the Autobahn doing like 260. I thought I was doing good. I'm like doing 200 in my crappy Audi S3. That thing does not want to go 200, by the way, so if you have an Audi S3, just don't do it. How's it going, Better? I think that didn't come through quite right. Better, how's it going? Thanks, Diamond. We try our best. I think if you can at least do one thing semi-competently, so the driving is never going to be that, but if some people feel entertained, then I'll take it. Yes, you have to watch your mirrors in Germany, my God, especially in that left lane. So the most terrifying thing to me wasn't actually going to the Nordschleife or going down there in the supercar. That was the easy stuff. The terrifying thing for me was transplanting everything here, doing right-hand drive in a left lane to going left-hand drive in a right lane. I couldn't reconcile that with my mind. So being on the road, the regular road, was the most terrifying part of being in Europe. I think Italy probably worse than Germany though, because, you know, Italians are a particular way. I love you guys, by the way. It's one of my favorite places on planet Earth, but Italians, you know, you're a particular way. I love that way, but it's particular. No Twitch channel for now, but I was actually thinking about it. This thing can stream to both at the same time. Given how poorly it streamed to just the one, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to work through some things. I think with some friends that I have who do this streaming thing for a living, maybe they can impart some advice as to why I ran into the issues that I ran into early on with the first stream. I don't really, like, if I had to get past that problem again, I wouldn't know how to do it, so. Oh man, Fiat 500, 189 Ks. You're a far, far braver gentleman than I am. You know, Ryan, that's actually a really good idea, but I think the problem with pre-workout is it's so caffeine loaded, you can only do one load, and then you're a complete smoldering wreck of just caffeine anxiety. So I think I might space it out. We're massive caffeine addicts here in Melbourne, so I might just make really good shots of espresso for myself while I'm not driving a stint, and I'll come back probably with electrolyte tablets and like 6 liters of water per stint, and that should probably cover it. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Subaru could do. So I've got the GC8 from 2000, the very last model of, you know, the McRae shape before they ruined it with the bug eye and they went in that whole direction. But it never struck me as a particularly fast car, and not a particularly nimble car either, which is funny given how small it is. It's so understeery. It's that sort of early era four-wheel drive system that's just all of the power goes to the front axle and it just doesn't work. So, Gavin, if you want to pronounce it like people in the West do, it's Hamidovic, but if you want to pronounce it correctly like we do in the Balkans, it's Hamidovic. Doesn't really matter. Just don't say that at all. Just call me Erms, man. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, the GC8 has had some work. Mine isn't purely stock, it's got a bit more power. I'd say I'm going to estimate anywhere between 3 to 350 bhp at the crank. So it's a fun road car, it can do what it needs to, you know, but if you get a hot day and it relies on the turbo, relies on the spool, you're not going to get very much power out of that thing until you get it to like 4,000 RPM. Paris sounds like a fun place. Alright guys, I am going to pop off for about 5 to 10 minutes, I think, stretch my legs, get things going again. I'm going to reset this and do another stint. I won't hold it against you if you've got better things to do with your day, but if you guys want to hang around, I'll be back in about 5 to 10. I've just got to get my electrolyte tablets down and we'll be back at it. Let me know if you guys are keen to see the new AMS content reviewed like this. I might actually try that as part of a stream because I just kind of did a massive video. It took me like 16 hours. I don't want to delve back into AMS for just a minor BOP update. So if we just play through it on the stream, that works for me. So yeah, let me know. Anyway, you guys have a good one. I'm just going to shut down the camera for a sec and I'll be back with you in about 5 to 10. And you get to see my tire temps. How good is that? Welcome, the last Sith. You thought I was gone, didn't you? I'm still here. Thanks, Justin. Love you too, man. Okay, and we're back. Feel a lot better. I had to change the shirt, believe it or not. Whew, it's going to be quite a race, I think. If this is little 1 hour microcosm is any glimpse into it, it's going to be a lot of fun. So the tire pressure monitor is something I have bound to one of my keys. I'll actually find it for you. I'm trying to work out which of these it is. I think it's LCD mode. So I've got it to joystick 1, button 9, that one there. And that cycles through all the different LCD displays. So, you know, all the little readouts, time of day, tire pressures, damage, all that stuff. Yeah, so I don't know why YouTube sometimes thinks that the content is made for kids. I always uncheck that, so I don't know what's going on there. There are so many bugs in the way that OBS and YouTube interact. I don't know. Like this is a whole new world to me. Like I said, I don't really watch Twitch streams. I don't really watch YouTube streams outside of Jardier and like David Perel sometimes. So this whole world is new to me. I actually don't know how many stints we're doing in one go. I know that I think most regular endurance racing, they generally go for about 2 hours a piece. That's a standard stint, I think. But really, it's all down to the team and whatever their strategy is. I'm just a follower. John, you are the best. You are seriously the best. That is the first legit donation I've ever had on the channel or in my life. I will always remember this. You're the man. That's so strange, TM. I don't understand what's going on. So see, there's so many little bugs I have to look into. These are all the little things that like eat up all of your time when you have things going on. It's crazy. I wish I had like a little assistant I could send on those errands for me. It'd be so good. Thank you guys for bearing with me. You're the best. Through 2 failed streams and 1 full stint, now going into our second stint. I promise I'll start driving shortly. Just letting my body recover. Had to kind of wipe myself down with a towel and deodorize. It's so good. I feel like I'm doing a workout more so than sim racing. It's a great thing about Australia. All you have to do is sit there and you kind of get a cardiovascular workout in the summer. I think I need a real life assistant rather than a virtual one. Thanks, Adamed, or Atomed. Adamed. I'm going to go with Adamed. Adamed too. It's good to see you on the stream. So it's notifying me of a couple of skipped frames over the last couple of minutes. I'm going to guess that most of that is due to the GIFs that are popping up. So I'm going to have to look into this and see what's causing all those breaks in the stream without killing the video quality too much. I think it's already kind of teetering on the edge of what I want to put out there. But don't worry, there'll be a new system soon. I'm due a new computer. This one's about half a decade old. There'll be probably a 3080. I think the 90 is probably overkill. Thanks, Tim. That's super appreciated, man. I will always endeavor to remember you as a second donator. So it's practice actually for an official race. It isn't a private league. It's run by P1gaming.de. Don't kill me if I got that wrong, but they seem to run around Germany. The team Discord chat is half in German, so I don't know what's going on half the time. They tell me to do things, I do them. So here I am. Hey Alex, good to see you all the way from Dubai, man. Oh, that sucks about the X30 season. Those karts are crazy fun, hey. Yeah, so the movement really kills it. So when I'm static like this, I think the feed should be okay, but as soon as I start to move, there's massive artifacting, especially in the camera feed. I don't really know what to do about that. Welcome, James. Welcome to the legends. No, I definitely saw it, Sam. Really appreciate it. It's tricky. Things they're not showing up as they should. I'm trying to work out what's a bug, what's a problem with my computer, you know. I don't know. We're really just testing the waters. Yeah, that seems to be the problem. I really don't know what's causing that. I'm going to have to look into that after this, see if there's some like Google answers for me. None of this is really laid out to you. Actually, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to kill the GIFs as part of these notifications. They won't look as good, but maybe they'll stop the frame drops for you guys. So just give me a moment. All right, so I just removed all of my Sonic widgets. I feel so bad. I feel like I died inside. I'm going to run a quick test for you guys. Let me know if there's a frame drop. Sorry to hear about that, Lucas, but the Cup car is really fun too, man. Just, take it easy. Expect that it's the B class and just enjoy it. I'll wave to you when I lap you. Just kidding, man. You'll be the one lapping me. All right, so it's the GIFs causing the problems. I'll try another test. Let me know how it goes. That was a GIF. That was the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button, but how good is that animation, though? I definitely didn't donate $23 to myself through Super Chat, by the way, just saying. Alright, cool. So long as there's no animation whatsoever, it's perfectly smooth. Cool. I can see why the full-time streamers actually have a secondary computer for this. It's all starting to make sense to me now. The GIF didn't drop frames. What? So it's only the Sonic ones. Huh. Alright. I'm going to try another one here. Let me know. Alright. Let me know if this drops frames. That's not right. Alright, there we go. Did Kimi drop frames? Alright, Kimi for the win. It's just Sonic, so it's just the transparent ones causing issues. Now I know. Alright, I'm gonna set up a good one for the subs. Give me a minute, then we'll get back into the race. Kimi always comes through with the goods, man. I've got to get one of him on the yacht. That's got to be the moment in all motorsport history. All right, how'd that go? Oh man, I'm not going to insult you by trying to pronounce your name, but you are the best. Thank you so much. I don't know what currency that is, but thank you so much. Thank you guys for being part of the stream. Thank you for just watching me fiddle around with Streamlabs. You're number 3, by the way. I'll always remember. I'm going to keep track of all of the donators until my memory runs out. My memory banks are quite bad, but I really appreciate you guys. All right. We can keep the loving, fast and furious, staring scene. I'll take it. Ah, beautiful. All right. Well, time to protect our virginity again and back on the track. I have a feeling it'll be late afternoon on the track soon, so temps will drop, though I don't know if the temps actually have an effect on the tyres in this driving model. That's it, Lucas. It's all about just surviving. That's my goal. I have to try and yell at people and maintain a stream while hopefully not destroying the team's race. That's my main thing, is trying to manage traffic. That's going to be the big one. I mean, I'd practice doing that with the AI, but I don't think the AI are a good indicator of that sort of thing. This is rFactor 2, and welcome, Joshua. Sam Moran, good to see it. Okay. Andreas, man, I love you. You guys are the best, seriously. It's worth it just for that Kimi gif, isn't it? Man, I love that guy. Almost as much as I love you. Thanks, man. Alright, so this is when the game has its little, like, half-frozen moment. Alright, cool. Yeah, there's no wet racing line. It just, you know, it just gets worse. You know, that's so true. I went to Helsinki, Finland to meet up with some friends, and I had this idea of like the legendary Finnish drinkers in my mind, like how they would just drink me under the table, but turns out when you're twice their size, you can probably down a lot more alcohol. So I had some very fun stories after that trip. It's one of my favorite places in the world. I love every time I go back to Helsinki. Some of my favorite people in the world as well. They're so chilled up there. I think it's just too damn cold to give a crap about anything. Usman, thank you so much, man. I love hearing that stuff. They're a great bunch of guys, Fanatec. They've been super kind. I'm really glad that you're enjoying your product as well. Had a bit of a weird sound glitch just then, so we'll make sure that everything's okay. I think we're good. Alright, I should probably start driving. So what you guys are here for? Listen to me yell. It is kind of nice to chill out and actually be able to read the chat though, I've got to say. I would have find more excuses to do this. Maybe some laid back games. Any of you guys know The Hunter? It's like a hunting game. It's super chill. It takes like half an hour to kill anything, and you just, you know what I'm talking about. It'd be nice to just be able to look at the chat stream and actually talk with you guys rather than wrangling the car down the Nordschleife. Sorry to hear that, Jaden. I know they have some QC issues, but they're usually, in my experience, they've been very good with support and getting stuff out very quickly. As I'm artist, man. You guys are the best, seriously. I'm soon gonna lose track of everybody. I'm gonna have a donators widget on there as well, so you guys are not forgotten. Because my memory is absolutely horrible, but I truly appreciate it. I'm still fiddling my way around the overlay, trying to make this work for you guys without too many drop frames. The Porsche is very different to the Ferrari, I've got to say. I mean, clearly, obviously. Duh. It's what you come here for. This is the least knowledgeable sim racing channel in action. The Porsche is different to the Ferrari. I mean, okay, so it's rear-engined. You have to let it coast around the turns a lot more. You apply the power later. It isn't really my favorite style of handling, you know, but I can make do with it. And it's certainly an interesting new challenge. That corner is so weird. If you let the engine hit the torque band there, you basically just spin out no matter what. And my apologies if I start to miss any chats there, guys. It's quite demanding, this track, so I've got to kind of balance my workload. Like I said before, I'm going to be rewatching this entire stream, even though it's going to be like 2.5 hours long. So any comments that I've missed, I will pick up on afterward. I'll be double checking it for any quality issues, the frame drops and stuff that you guys are talking about. I want to get it as airtight as humanly possible before we go live on the weekend. So I don't know what the balance of performance is like. I know that when I used one of my sprint setups, it was going pretty good. But this is one of the endurance setups set up by the team. So very different thing. This isn't for hot laps. You're not going to see me set any blazing times. This is all for consistency. It's for me to practice what the car is going to feel like at various states of fuel load, tire wear, you know, managing the tires as well as I can, trying not to spin, all that fun stuff. I love the lack of the death traps there. Like ACC, my god, it's just, I don't know which one's more accurate. I don't know what they actually run on the Nürburgring. I sincerely hope that they don't have the death traps on those, on the chicane. Yeah, it handles the corners very well, so it's basically like late braking, and then it will just coast around a turn like that. But I'm used to going flat out there, so that's a whole nother kettle of fish as well. Also, we've got a full fuel load, I think 120 litres, 116 at the moment. And my curbs, all my curbs back. There's a very important curb on the inside there. If you're watching this, Marcel, I want my curb. Well, if you were here for the beginning of the stream, you definitely would have known it was my first. I ran into an array of bugs with Streamlabs and YouTube. I think, look, I'm pleading innocence, completely outside the realm of my control. It just like wouldn't resume its own stream for some reason. But these are the things that you only find out when you actually do something, you know? Bit of a different time of day to when I started this. I think I've set this to about 5 times time compression, so we might actually see some night cycle as well, or at least some sunset. So I find that it helps getting the long shadows here, because that messes with my brake markers. It makes me drive worse, and that's what this is all about. It's all about ironing out our weak spots, you know? Our main race is on Saturday this weekend. And yes, it is only 720p at the moment. I'm trying to get 1080 working, but it was causing us a bit of trouble earlier. So I've got to work out what that's all about. There's a lot of ways in which I'm being limited by YouTube itself. It just wants a very low bitrate fed to it. I don't know why. I'd be feeding a high bitrate video if I could. Maybe what I should focus on instead is just feeding better lines to this car. Still got to develop that skill of reading comments while driving. It's really not working out for me. No Ferrari, JT, much to my dismay. It wasn't really my choice, this car, but hey, I don't mind it. It's fine, it's something different. I did drive it on my 24 hours of Nürburgring in 24 minutes video, one of the very last ones. The one before the Audi. That was pretty fun. It was very different. I turned the headlights on. We're getting to that special time of day. I think my stint is going to get a heck of a lot more difficult very, very soon. Yeah, the tires are quite something. But hey, it's like low pressure. The team have such low confidence in me, they just shoved me right in this car. It's like, this guy's never going to do anything meaningful. Let's just have some fun. That way we can blame the car. And Erman. Definitely blame Erman. Damn influences. Yeah, don't worry guys, I'll get this whole streaming thing locked down over the next couple of months, weeks, days, something. Whatever sounds best to you, go with it. I've got a lot of friends getting into this space as well, so I'm going to try and get their advice and see, you know, what kind of issues they've wrangled with. I've got to give the team props. I mean, this car basically drives itself. It feels amazing. Especially given that it's rear engine and like I am allergic to rear engine cars, so they've done super well. If you see any crashing here, it's entirely my own fault. Hey, good white tea, how's it going? I may be a big YouTuber in one sense only, not in the sense that matters, like, you know, having people that actually care about what I do. I'm big in the sense that I need to eat less. The sim is rFactor 2. I'll leave it to you guys to answer that one from now on. I'm sure it's going to become a staple question. Maybe I'll actually put it in the thumbnail or the video title next time so people know what they're watching. Daryl, welcome. So this is my outlap. I can afford to just slow down randomly on corners. Check out what you guys are doing. So generally speaking, I make my own setups. This particular one is made by the team for the endurance event. Like, we all have to make do with it, and it's very good. I can't complain. It's obviously not the quickest setup in the world. It's not made to be. It's made to be consistent. But I think when it comes to rFactor, they could probably work on giving you better default setups. It's been one of the long-standing issues we've had with much of their content. Most people don't realize how good the content is because it comes with such bad stock setups. They're very, you know, non-competitive when it comes to an esports perspective, and you think that the cars are, that they handle a lot more oddly than they actually should. It's exactly right, Ron. I've never lifted a weight in my life. Just this Formula V2 rim. That's it. You're very welcome, Chris. Very, very welcome. That's what makes this all worthwhile. The more people I can get playing rFactor, the more we can enrich the community. I mean, I want the rFactor guys, I want Studio 397 to just become rich. I want every single one of them to become stupidly rich if they aren't already. And I want them to just sink everything into their sim. I want the best consumer grade sim, the most realistic sim. That stuff that Marcel was talking about in our interview. I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen in my lifetime. I want the damage model of BeamNG. I want what this time model is to SimRacing. I want it in every facet of SimRacing. I want it in the aero maps, in the damage models, in the chassis flex. I want full autism coding. I want all of the idiot savants and autists in the world coding for this one sim. I don't mean that offensively, by the way. I fully embrace that same tag. As do some of my business partners that code with me in my other business. I think you need to be a sort of a shut-out social recluse in order to do this kind of thing very, very well. So I sincerely wish Studio 397 more socially challenged programmers, because they're the best in my experience. Hey guys, sorry I can't read the comments in detail. The Nordschleife has to have my full attention. Once we get onto Flugplatz, I'm going to give it a check over. Oh no. See, I was trying not to brake. I think you have to brake there when the shadows get long. My mistake. I think in a perfect line you can just lift in this car and go through, but it's too much of a risk in the endurance race. So that's why we're here, to find this out, so I don't do it in the actual race. Same with this, you can like just flat out the entire thing, but not really worth it. Not worth the risk. Exactly, just a practice crash. Work out how to do the least amount of damage before we hobble back to the pits. What I find really interesting is, as you know, the day gets later and the shadows get longer, I find it way harder to maintain my lines on the Nordschleife. It's something about the way that it presents itself to my eye just becomes very, very different. I'm gonna have to make sure that I get the monitor a lot closer to me for the actual race so that I can actually see what I'm doing. The sun is definitely getting a lot lower in the sky there, so that's gonna be interesting. I wonder if we'll probably get sunset by the end of this, but I don't know if we'll get nighttime. Doing a bit of hit, miss. It's an interesting frame of mind to... Really? My God, this is really not my favorite lap, is it? It's funny to think that my first stint went so much better than this. But it's funny trying to get your head into a different space for an endurance race versus a sprint one. The way that the car handles is very different to what I'm used to, and that's one of the reasons that these practice sessions are taking place. Just trying to work out how to handle a lumbering beast with too many clicks on the rear wing and a full fuel load. It's a very, very different story to driving something that only has like 20 liters of fuel in it. Hey Robert Stig, how's it going? Funny, the way the track is presenting itself to me is just so different, especially with the PBR shaders. It's, I don't know, it's just coming across differently in the late afternoon and the early evening. It's just something about it isn't the same that it was. So it's a good thing that I'm here. It's a good thing that you guys are joining me as well. It's a lot less boring with you hanging around. Can't believe there's 181 of you guys watching me do this. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time and appreciate your patience as well. And I appreciate your kind support for when I inevitably crash again. Especially when I do it in the 24-hour race where it actually matters and damage is on. I can see it now though. I can understand why the guys playing Minecraft and COD and stuff are probably doing a lot better as streamers. I mean, it affords them a lot more time to just kind of flick a glance to the side and see what people are talking about, stay in the chat. Whereas in SimRacing, so much of what you're doing is just going toward keeping the car on the road, especially when it comes to this track. I have to find that happy balance. I need to find those alien skills that Jardier's got. I don't know how that guy pulls those lap times while having conversations with these viewers. It's crazy. Mate, a lot of things are more interesting than a modern F1 race, like watching grass grow. Just load up that good old stuff, you know, the early 2000s with the V10s. Woo. No halos. Grid girls, all that toxic stuff we used to like in the 90s. You're absolutely right. This car changes so much over the course of a stint with the fuel load lessening. It blew my mind when I did it in solo in that 24 hours and 24-minute race. But now, having to actually manage it for real, oh man, that's going to be a whole nother thing. So I can just blame the car. So thank you, Renee and team. You guys have given me a great scapegoat. If I crash, it's the Porsche. It's definitely not me. It's never me. I'm infallible. It's the Porsche's fault for not being a Ferrari. Yeah, so it's a crazy one with the Call of Duty thing. If you really want to see something that's impressive, watch the guys that play tournament shooters and stream those. Guys like Toxic and Rafa, who play Quake Champions, used to play Quake Live. I mean, if you want to see just aliens doing their thing, it's that. It's so sad that nobody watches that. It's just a completely diminished market. People would rather watch Fortnite or something. I mean, look, it's a generation beyond me. I don't get it. I'm from the 90s where, you know, the tournament shooters were king, where Quake reigned supreme and Doom. This is the GT3, not the GTE. If it were the GTE, I'd probably be having a much better time. That sun's definitely getting lower in the sky there. So I'm enjoying the way that the game looks at different day-night cycles. It's the PBR shaders, I think that's where they've really come into their own. I don't know how I feel about the road texture. I mean, you guys probably can't tell because the stream would be so low quality, but the road looks really blurry to me. It has like a more generic grade of tarmac that you see in Portland International. I preferred the darker tarmac that they had in the last version. It felt a little more authentic to me personally, but you know what? It's their game. I do like how the rubbered-in line changes though, so it's kind of reflective when the sun's glinting off it, but then as soon as it gets dark, you actually see the rubber on there. Very cool. I want my curb. I want my curb. Alright, let's mount the curb. Let's pretend that we're actually in the race. Not too much. The testing goes okay. We had a few rough issues with the stream. I think we've ironed out the worst of it, but I need to find a way in which I can stream at a higher quality bitrate and maybe resolution while not completely diminishing my PC's capabilities. I think therein lies a real challenge. So rFactor aged well only because they kept working on it. The original rFactor 2 is just... I mean, if you look at that vanilla content, that's super rough. It's when Studio 397 stepped in, did the DirectX 11 update, brought in the GT cars, the DLCs, the laser scan tracks, now the PBR shaders as well, and all the stuff they have on the horizon. I mean, you have to respect them for wanting to make a better sim. Welcome to the channel. And every time I look away from the screen, that happens. Alright. I'll try and get into it a little bit more. You guys are going to experience the glorious rFactor 2 sunset hue in the PBR shaders soon. I'm going to experience not being able to see my apexes because the shadows are so long. I'm already feeling it. So this is my worst time of day for driving. This is part of what the practice stream is for, to get me comfortable with this stuff that I don't normally do. You know, racing at times where it isn't just noon and the sun isn't planted directly on the track. Got to contend with long shadows, covering your brake markers. Okay, so the notifications are killing the frame rate again. There you go. I think the clear answer here is that I need a 3090. Don't you guys agree? I think a 3090 would solve all of my problems and wouldn't in any way be overkill. Hey, William. Good to see you, man. Welcome to my very first, very amateurish stream. Where I get to pretend that I can drive and talk at the same time. My favorite thing in the world. Yep, 3090 in streaming. Maybe a new CPU. Maybe a nice Ryzen 16 core while we're at it, right? Give me reasons not to go AMD, by the way, guys. I keep hearing about like poor low latency performance, it not performing as well under particular workstation applications as Intel. You know, give me reasons to stay in Intel's ecosystem, because I'm considering making the shift. Well, let me know what you guys think. I'm curious. You AMD guys, you NVIDIA and Intel guys, you AMD and NVIDIA guys? I don't know if the two even mix anymore. My apologies if I can't read your comments at the present moment. I am quite occupied by the Nordschleife. So AMD is better for streaming, you say? Really? Getting a lot of AMD fans through. Is it because of their big announcements? Everyone shifted camps? I've been getting an earful from my friends. They just won't shut up about AMD. Man, I gotta do that thing where I need to stop looking at the chat at the very inopportune moments in Sector 3. Alright, we've got the final straight coming up soon. I'm gonna read through your advice as quickly as I can. A lot of AMD fans in the chat. So we're getting AMD is better, AMD is better. So they've really come back after all these years. I mean, I remember having AMD in the early 2000s. They ran at like 120 degrees the CPUs, it was insane. Looks like we're going to get our sunset during this stint. Crank up the TC so we don't burn through the tires. I think short shifting there is the way to go. I think. You can stay in second, but you end up with really low revs for a bit there. Going into these turns way too shallow. I love that I've turned the chat into tech support. It's my favorite kind of chat. Really keen to look through this afterward. Nah, see what nuggets of wisdom I missed. Oh man, can't see a thing there. All the brake markers are gone. Respect. So we're running at 5 times time acceleration for anybody wondering, so the sun should drop out of the sky pretty fast. We might get to see a little bit of nighttime on the last lap, maybe. Heck yeah. This is that good time of day. It's nice to look at, but horrible to drive on. Oh yeah, look at that sun glinting. Yes. Oh man, can't see any of my apexes. That's so good. That's what I love about the N24. People are crazy enough to do this in real life. The car's starting to feel a lot more like second nature now as well, which is awesome. You have to practice negotiating traffic and all that. I'm not sure how to do that. I was thinking about loading up AC and just going into some of those like 24 hours, you know, 24/7 Nordschleife service and just trying to negotiate plebs, public plebs. I mean, if you can survive them, you can survive an official race, right? That's how it works. Least knowledgeable tech support, I'll take it. That's what we call any of my tech advice. So the mic I'm using right now, I believe, is a Rode Procaster. I use it because it has insane off-axis rejection. So one of the reasons you see me not using headphones right now is that I have the sound from the game blaring out of my speakers and you can't hear it bleeding into the microphone. It's super, super good for that. So I use it whenever I'm simming and talking at the same time. The other one is I believe an NT1, which is a condenser microphone. It sounds arguably better, it sounds clearer, but it has way less off-axis rejection, so you can't really, you know, stream and play and talk. I use it for all the post-production stuff, the regular videos that you see on the channel. Hopefully that helps. It's awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in again. If you told me I'd be getting close to 200 viewers, I think we did hit 200 on the first stint. For me, just driving around the Nordschleife practicing, and you guys are the best, seriously. And again, if I miss any of your comments, I'll be watching through all of this afterward while winding down. I'm gonna have a lot of body aches after these 2 stints. So I'll just chill out by watching myself on stream like a true narcissist. This will be great. Has some really interesting behaviors, this car. On some corners, I just can't predict what it's gonna do. It seems like it goes into them differently each lap. So that's why I'm doing so many practice sessions. It's to learn its behavior on each subsequent lap. It's probably the most dynamic of the GT3 cars as far as I'm aware of. The Ferrari kind of just feels the same on every lap. It's just, you might get a little bit less grip on the rear after a couple of laps. But this thing is, as the fuel load empties and its balance shifts, oh man, all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, William, I'm your dude for acoustics, mate. Also, definitely hit Sam up if he hasn't gotten in touch with you about the channel intro, man. He's the guy. He is the king of videography. He did my channel intro, and I mean, you know, it might not be your style, but he's capable of doing quite a few different things. Not the best carousel run I've ever had, but I was afraid I'd overshoot it there, so the fact that we actually stayed in, I'd consider that a win. Remember, I'll be wrangling with Porsche Cup car back markers along here, apparently. So that's going to be fun. Porsche for everyone. It'll be nice to know that there'll be at least 20 people in the race. that are in a worse Porsche than I'm in. That thought keeps me warm at night, you know, even if the night's already warm like tonight. I've got to really get into that mind frame of let the car rotate itself and then apply the throttle after. I'm so used to using on-throttle rotation to subtly rotate the car mid-corner. That's something that the Ferrari GTE loves to do, and it's sunk into my driving style so much I've had to unlearn it for this thing. Would have been great to have repped the Ferrari in the first race, but it's alright. We'll go full Germany. So believe it or not, the headlights on my car are actually on right now. I can barely see a thing. Especially with that spotlight blaring in my face. I have to probably do something about that during the stream. Hey, the sun. rFactor has like a bona fide actual sun now. It took PBR shaders to get us there. And soon we'll have God rays. It's gonna be awesome. Hey Polo, how's it going? Once again, I haven't forgotten you guys. The first handful of donations I'll always remember. Thank you so much. I never expected to see myself being one of these people running a live stream, but here we are. You help legitimize me by actually watching and listening to my nonsensical comments. No, that's totally fine, Lucas. That makes a lot of sense. So the qualifying setups are going to be very, very different. And again, I'm not pushing 100% here either. So I'm expecting that my times aren't going to be particularly impressive. I mean, the GT3s should be lapping in the, 810s somewhere. Yeah, totally agreed. 820 is a decent goal. It's usually where I sit on the endurance laps when I'm not trying to wrangle a conversation as well as consistency practice, but yeah, 100%. We'll see how we go. That's what I have the team for, to pick up the slack from me sucking. That's what it's all about. William, you are the man. I think you're either number 4 or number 5. I'm already starting to forget. But you guys help legitimize me. Thank you, dude. You're gonna make me crash at this rate. I like it. It's your secret strategy to undermine my practice. Oh, look at that sun. We're getting into that special time of day now. Yeah, it's funny. It's like every time I look down at the chat, it's another second lost. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I should probably aim to do 1 or 2 actual speedy laps before the second stint is over. It just means that I'm going to be a lot more boring while I do it. out if I just manipulate the wheel right. Whew. God, it's humid here tonight. Really lets you get into the experience, you know? Oh, so the stream has died. Oh, man. See, I was afraid of that. I don't really understand why it happens. I can't account for it. Fortunately, not much I can do about it right now. Hey John. And yeah, I'm using the NV encoder. It's just a little finicky for some reason, I don't know why. But then again, it wouldn't be streaming if something wasn't failing on us. Okay, so you guys are saying the frames have dropped again. Man, that's frustrating. So I went through a bit of a roundabout process to fix that earlier. Yeah, cool. I can see the skipped frames readout. That's so weird. What's that, Boggy? Do you think it's the chat overlay? Or the alerts that are happening? Hey, Connor. See you, Rubber Stig. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I'll have to look into capping frames then. I feel like that's probably where the answer is. I mean, if the GPU is running at capacity and it's trying to stream at the same time, that's probably where the problem is happening. Though I've not really had that issue while recording before, so I don't know why it's having that issue while trying to stream. It doesn't really make any sense to me. I mean, I've never had issues recording locally. I don't know why streaming would be any different, and it feels like it's just bogging down for no particular reason. So the GPU is a 1080 Ti and the CPU is a, God, was it a 5820K? CPU usage meters is very, very low, so I don't know what that's about. Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm starting to run out of ideas. I'm also starting to run out of fuel, so there's only a couple of laps left anyway. So the upstream rate for 720p I've got set to 6000 kbps, which is what YouTube recommend as the uppermost limit. I was doing 9000 before at 1080p. NVEnc is being used, all the settings that NVIDIA recommend. On paper, everything should be perfect, but something is happening. I wonder if it's maybe the real road going in and just like destroying the CPU. Gives me a nice break where I can, you know, have an excuse not to drive. I have a feeling that once I unpause, it's going to go straight into the wall. Yeah, that's very weird. Very weird. I don't know if it's a CPU or a GPU bottleneck and how to get around it. It seems strange though. It seems like something that it should be able to handle without too much of an issue. I feel like there's one magic setting somewhere that I've missed that's not quite happening. I'll use this as a chance to get a drink of water, I think. I mean, do you guys think that me rescaling the output down to 720p is the problem? If I just stream out at my native 1440p, will that be better or worse? I hope it's a technical setting. I sincerely do. I hope it's something very simple I can just set in OBS. But, I mean, I followed NVIDIA's recommendations to the letter. In fact, I actually taxed things less. I used the lower quality encode rather than the max quality that they recommended. You reckon disable scaling and just output at 1440p? Anyway, for the time being, let's get back to the slideshow. I'll get my last 2 laps out of the way, or 3, whatever there is, 2.5. Look, what I might do is I'll do a bit of a deep dive into OBS after this and see what's going on. I might do a community post. I'll show you guys what I have set up on OBS, and if you guys are interested, come check that post after. I don't want to hold up the stream with it too much. But yeah, let's get back to the race and enjoy the slideshow. Hopefully it fixes itself up though, because it was running just fine before, so I don't know where this problem has come from. Maybe it's the, could be the longer shadows, the later time of day. Maybe it's become more GPU taxing or something. Cool. Did the Control F. Thanks, William. Let's see how the frame rate goes. I don't know where I am. Where am I? Oh, I'm here. Right. Cool. Is it seriously with my lights on? It is. Oh my god. Okay, cool. Headlights are factor. Headlights need to do more than this. So frame rate's pretty darn good to me. Unless 120 isn't good. So I'll just pause it again. Okay, so it was fine for you guys then after I paused it and restarted. Man, it's so finicky. I can see why guys use a secondary PC to do this. All right, William, I might do that, man. I might drop the frames. Are you sure that there's a frame cap in rFactor itself, or might I have to run that externally through like Riva, what's it called, Riva Tuner, Riva Statistics Server? Cool, all right, so nothing I do really affects whether or not there's going to be frame drops. It seems to be, a lot of this seems to be just chance at this point. All right, let's just, I'm going to hope that it continues on and it does well. I'll check with you guys on the straight and hopefully won't need to pause it again. Here we go. It's definitely that special time of day where the GPU gets taxed a little bit more, that's for sure. But it strikes me as a bug, I have to say. The slideshow is too, like, off and on. It's not consistent. So I sincerely hope for everybody involved in this that it's looking better now. And those are the moments you don't want in the actual race. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. That's our mantra. Oh man, all my brake markers are gone. Can't see a thing. I'm going to try and move the screen a lot closer to myself for the actual race. I think it's very difficult to see the apexes right now. Adds that additional layer of challenge though that I appreciate. Whether or not it's a realistic challenge, I don't know. Section 3 is definitely the best part of that track. It's beautiful. Okay, cool. So we've got a I mean, look, the input lag of me dropping the frames more is going to be a bit of a problem. I mean, 120 is about where I'd want my GPU to sit during a race, but I guess if it causes problems with the actual stream, there's not much I can do about that. I definitely don't want my FPS running at 60. That's way, way too slow. So my eye starts to see the shutter effects beneath 90. Just too much. I'm still waiting for the headlights to kick in. Come on guys, do your thing. It's that special time of day where it's too dark on the track but the headlights don't do anything, but as soon as the sun goes down, I'm going to start getting all the light in the world in front of me. Hey Declan, how's it going? I'm making it a point to avoid looking at the chat unless I'm on really long straight sections of the track, so my apologies if I miss any of the chat, guys. Oh, that sun. Oh, that's gorgeous. That's beautiful. Look at that. I just dropped 300. I dropped about 3/10 just for that sun. Just hoping that sun goes away so I can get my light back. I mean, surely the headlights would be working better than this at this time of day. We're starting to get the rubbered in line on the track though, that's very cool. I'm feeling like the actual LED display on the dash in front of me is not really lit up as bright as it should be. Alright, okay, cool, so be it. Yeah, agreed. Lighting is something that rFactor has always had a bit of a spotty relationship with. Soon. Maybe a couple more minutes, I might get my light back. Man, that looks good. Look at that hot air balloon. Damn, son. That is gorgeous. Really gives me a bit of extra time to enjoy it, because the last time I did this, it was 60 times time compression. I do really like the lighting grade changes though as it goes down. You really get the alternating feelings at different time of day that you would in real life. Very cool. Oh, don't spin. Oh man. The car gets very strange. Every subsequent lap it just handles completely differently. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a bit of a deep dive into what's happening with the streaming. I don't know why it's so hit and miss. I can try frame cap, but I mean, I don't want to cap the frames too low. I think maybe capping it at 90 FPS might give me enough overhead to stream without lowering the input lag or heightening the input lag too much. I think that sounds like a great idea. A YouTuber team for a 24-hour race. We can be the slowest, loudest, rowdiest bunch out. It's one team I'd gladly come last in. Based on what Studio 397 were teasing with the Cadillac and stuff, my guess is that their new content, and this is just a guess, I don't have an inside scoop into this, I'm thinking something to do with IMSA or IMSA related. I mean, wishful thinking maybe, but that'd be really awesome if they secure the IMSA license. Some great events going on there in the US. Some of my favorite tracks too, so it'd be great to see official versions of like, don't do it, Evan. That's the first, oh, I didn't fall out. There'd be official versions of like Road America. What's that other one I like? Road Atlanta. We've already got Sebring, so that's a great one. Maybe Watkins Glen, that's such a good track. Oh man, I'm coming in too hot. Something has changed with this car. Need to adjust the way that I drive it. Here's the nighttime stint. I was thinking we'd get sundown. I didn't think we'd actually get a full dark lap, so that's cool. So I'm definitely running out of juice. I'm not able to maintain the sprightly personality while I do my final couple of laps. Been at this for almost 3 hours, so thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm super glad you came along. As far as first streams goes, it was a resounding success. Like I said at the start to the guys that are probably long since gone by now, I was expecting to be streaming to about 3 to 4 people, so this is amazing. I'm gonna go back and watch over all of this. I'm gonna see all the issues that you were talking about, catch all of your comments. So again, hugely appreciated. Yeah, only the first hints of headlights now, so the sundown hour is going to be really rough in the race, I think. I mean, I find this way easier than I did when we had way more daylight, so kind of strange. I mean, I'm open to all kinds of league racing. It's just something I need to get into more and more, you know, the competitive online racing thing. Welcome, Remy. For some reason, I'm not hearing the sound effects anymore. Man, OBS, it's so buggy. If I've missed any donations, by the way, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm going to read back through that. I'm super appreciative of all of that. It's just that the software that I'm using is causing me no end of grievance right now. Still getting highly mediocre times, but I think if I actually put together a decent lap minus the stream, I should be okay. Generally speaking, when I was doing this practice run before, it was in the low 820s, around about 820, so... Andrew, welcome to the club, mate. It's just amazing, like I say, for, you know, every monologue that I have, it's an extra second off my lap time. I've got to pick up those Jardier skills. Dubsum Gaming. Love you, man. It's worth it just for that Fast and Furious GIF, isn't it? You're very welcome, Grandad, Australian Grandad. It's a very, very fun game, AMS, even though it's got a lot of troubles. Very, very fun. I mean, having driven the Porsche on this track a lot in it and having driven it a lot today in rFactor is in a far better state, I think, than AMS is right now. I'm sorry to say for Reza, but it's just kind of the truth. But you know, the sky's the limit. I look forward to seeing what they can do with that engine. Is that track limits? Oh my god, that's not track limits. Alright, I'm going to start to get very explorative with that when I do my offline streams. You're going to see my times go down into the 810s again. Which is technically where I should be. I think Lauren's... What was Lauren's pole lap? He did like an 806 or 807 or something like that one year. I love that lap. I'm going to study it. Again, missing my curb a lot. Yeah, they've got to do a lot of improvements with the lighting in rFactor land. It's just the way that it is. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, so you're witnessing what happens to a Porsche when it eats through its fuel load and its tires. And you drive it like a moron for an entire stint. So it starts to get very loose on the rear. I'm gonna just plant my accelerator. Yeah, it's safer. Just don't ever lift. Don't ever lift. That's the solution. This is a drifting simulator, Evgeny. Thanks, Roy. Really appreciate it. I think I'm going to need the luck, given the amount of weird tech issues I've run into that I can't account for. I'm going to do everything I can to not have to drop my frame rate down. I love my frame rates. If I have to race at 60 FPS, it's going to be a bad time. Look, William, if I just need the overhead, what I need to do is find a 3080 over the next 2-3 days. That solves everyone's problem, right? Then I can lock the game to 120 at 1440p and stream to my heart's content. The trick being finding a 3080 anywhere. Still experimenting a bit. These aren't entirely serious runs. I'm trying to see how late I can leave the braking, like where I can brake on which lap with how much fuel load. It's just about getting familiar with the car rather than trying to set blazing hot laps or anything like that. Still just kind of having fun with it. I'm going to chat with you guys. So we're not fully serious yet. I think as we get closer, we might get a few more serious practice sessions that are less vocal. No thoughts on the American elections on this channel. We're strictly apolitical. I don't need that here. Not yet. If I want to get my channel shadow banned, then we might jump into that, but no. No thoughts at all. Nor will there be any. Again, I can't believe 150 of you guys are still with me, like almost 3 hours into this stream, just lapping this damn circuit by myself in the middle of the night. So thank you so much. Appreciate all of you. Hit that damn sub. Ring that damn bell. Assuming that the kid filter will let you. I don't know what that's about. It seems to think that this is like kid-friendly content, even though I always disable that, so doesn't let some of you ring the bell, which is kind of irritating. Again, many of the wonders of being on the YouTube platform. So many inexplicable bugs you only find out about as they're actually happening to you. I actually have no idea if I have any laps left after this. No, I think this is the last one. Wow. So I haven't had a single quick lap in this entire set of 2 stints. So I got to get my JRDS skills up. I got to learn how to chat and read and be an alien at the same time. But I think I'd settle for just being able to drive competently first, and then we'll go from there. It's definitely a different experience, which I appreciate. The way this car drives on this track is not what I'm used to at all. But I appreciate the ability to just do something completely off the wall. Yeah, I mean, whatever that larger community event may be, I don't know. Not getting into the sim wars. Oh man, I'm all over the place when I read. I've got to really get into that. I'm not getting into the sim wars, man. If you enjoy iRacing, more power to you. I've never driven it myself. I don't expect I ever will. I don't like their business model. With that being said, if it scratches your itch, more power to you. Let's see where I get the drive-through. Give me the drive-through. No drive-through? Damn it. That's how we do it. It's definitely how it's going to go down in the endurance race as well, guys. No pit speed limits. We're back in the 60s. All right. Oh man, I'm done. This is brutal. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's ramping up as well. I really appreciate you guys joining me on this first stream. There's no crew. rFactor 2 doesn't render a crew. I didn't run over anyone. Anyway, it's nothing worse than what hasn't already happened in F1 over the years. At least I didn't set them on fire, right, during refueling. Welcome, Mattis. Might just take 5 minutes, rehydrate, have a chat with you guys. How you all doing? What's going on? Where are you guys from? Where's everyone messaging from? I'm curious where the cross section is at this time of day. I don't even know what time it is in Melbourne. I'm going to guess around midnight or something, maybe 10, 11 o'clock. No, it'll be midnight. It'll definitely be midnight, if not 1 a.m. We're probably too early to get the Americans involved at this point, unless you guys are real early birds. I'm guessing it's mostly the Euro crowd. Oh man, all over the place. All right, but a lot of Europe. A lot of UK. A lot of UK. A lot of UK. Germany, man, I'm repping your people's car. Quite poorly, I might add, but hey, here we are. Marie from near the Nürburgring, good for you. Do you live near Adenau? That's where I stayed when we were there. Oh, William, the absolute workaholic legend. I love it. Okay, it's a bit more USA than I expected. And Finland. I love Finland. It's the country full of Kimis, man. People, like, they look at Kimi like, he's so goofy and funny. It's like, have you ever been to Helsinki? It's like, everyone is like that, and they're all awesome. I can still see the dropped frames coming up here as well, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. See what's happening with my PC. I can see it now. I see why people use capture cards and second rigs. I'd be happy with just the 3080 though. I think, assuming I can get my hands on one. But maybe the team have some pointers for me. I'm assuming that they all stream a lot more than I do, so they might be able to let me know how to do this in a way that doesn't really compromise the experience as much for people. Hey, SimRacing World. Yeah, that sounds good, William. I think maybe after the stream ends, I'll get onto Discord with you if you're still up doing your work, and yeah, we'll have a chat through it. So from Chile as well, man. We've got people from all over the world. $12.30. It's interesting. I'm almost tempted to stream the AMS update, but I don't think I have it in me right now. I think I need to take a shower and then sleep and then do this again properly and actually do a proper stint with proper times. There's about maybe 10 seconds a lap in there that I need to improve on. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. I can see people popping off to get about their day. There'll be a few more of these leading up to the events on the weekend as I kind of dial this in a little bit more closely. I'm afraid it is, Gregory. Good to see you all the same, though. We'll probably catch you on the next one. I'll try and do the next one in like the dead of night when the US guys wake up, so we'll do like the different demographic, one stream for each part of the world. Hey Daniel, what's up? Man, you hung around for the whole stream, Drew? Thank you. No, glad you enjoyed it. I was thinking about revisiting AMS2 to check out the new BOP on the Porsches, given that I've been driving this thing for about 3 hours now, but I think my camera's about to die, so it's probably not going to work out too well for us. Appreciate you guys debugging the stream with me. We had a few issues through there. I've got to iron it out, so I'll get onto the chat with the master, Mr. SimRacing Paddock, and see if we can work something out here. Because I'm seeing my average frame rate right now is about 100, so at nighttime it really slows down a lot with all the point sources. I think that's going to cause a lot of issues with me actually streaming, especially with a whole field of cars on there too, so I'm going to have to really watch out and see what I can do about the stream. I'm definitely tired, mate. It's almost 1 AM and I've been doing this for about 3 hours, so it's going to be quite a taxing event when it actually happens. Awesome. Well, I think I'll leave you guys be. Again, thank you for living with me through all of these different stream attempts for the 2 massive stints. I'll try and be a little bit more speedy on the next couple as I kind of dial myself in for the car a little bit more and have to worry less about the stream while I drive. I think that's the key thing. I have to just let this thing do its business and be confident that you're not going to be copying any weird stutters and frame drops and slideshows. So thank you guys, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. So I'm going to end the stream and I think maybe take a well-deserved shower. Peace, guys.